This is a review of the 2015 Ford Escape. It's a vehicle that I've never driven before, but I've been very curious to drive, especially since I drove the Chevrolet Trax a little while ago. This kind of competes with the Chevrolet Trax, however the Chevrolet Trax is quite less expensive. However, this is a little bit more upscale. I'd say it competes more with the regular competition such as the Tiguan and things like that. Looking at it from all angles, it looks pretty good. It's one of the best looking ones, I think, of the gang. Probably not the best looking one. Here, they're on the high-end model, is like 18-inch wheels with like 45mm wheels. That's like way too... it doesn't work. You can see like the disc is like floating in there. There is option for using your foot to open the trunk, but there's also the key. You can see there's quite a bit of space. The trunk deck is pretty high, and that's becoming standard fare. I think everybody understood that they don't want the trunk deck to be too low, because when you're taking out things, you're going to scrap your back. 60/40 seat, which is kind of convenient. I'm going to show you in a second how these things fold down. You can see there's full of space. The trunk is very well finished, and on the side the plastics are a bit cheap. The seats look cheap. Look, you can see there they look pretty thin, but they're actually quite comfortable, and there is a lot of room back here. As you can see, the seat folds perfectly forward. If you take off the headrest, you can drive in a decent comfortable position. Interior design language of the doors is okay. It's not the best, it's not the worst. And as you can see, there are vents in back for the rear passengers, which is freaking awesome. That's always something that's very convenient, especially during the winter. In front, the design language ranges from okay to innovative to pretty good. The okay is the dash, the innovative is those air vents, I'll show later, and the excellent is the stereo system. The stereo system is very good in this truck. The controls for the HVAC are very good, except very small, and when you're in the park position you can't reach them. Nice old handy handbrake there, which is pretty freaking awesome. Huh? Look at that. We don't have those anymore in vehicles, do we? Moving along, there's the HVAC. It looks very good. Like, I have to say, like, the commands are very good. Perhaps they're a bit small. The buttons are very small, and the transmission well is way too wide. You could see my knee there. It was hitting the transmission well, and like my legs just weren't comfortable. However, if we look at it as a whole, it looks pretty good. This truck has blind spot monitoring instead of the concave out mirrors, which I prefer. Cool gauges. It's the fonts from the old Ford. It's not the new Ford. Like, if you see the Focus ST review that I did in 2015, the fonts were better. Little chrome door window pulls. That's pretty awesome. Look at that vent. That's a super innovative vent. I mean, the air conditioning was going everywhere. There was an even temperature throughout the front cabin, so I thought that was pretty awesome. You can see the tweeter from the sound system, which plays very good. I like this truck. It drove a lot softer than I thought. Once again, the HVAC controls, look at them. They look good, but they're too small. Huge glove box. Let's listen to the drive. Okay, we'll look at the interior first. It's a little underwhelming. The center console is nice. The touch points are okay. You know, I have to say these are soft touch points. They're not super touch points, but none of its competitors have super touch points. The overall design language looks like it came off an old Focus. They redid the Focus, but they didn't redo this vehicle. You have the mandatory sky roof. You have excellent visibility in this. I mean, I can see everywhere. Nice big fat rear view mirror. I like that. Sometimes, I don't know, I've seen some mirrors that are too small. Ford makes nice big mirrors. Nice big rear view exterior mirrors with blind spot monitors, which is fine. It doesn't have the concave out option, which I really like. I don't know why they reserve that for their cheaper models. I mean, why not just put it on there? The haptics are okay-ish. The switches feel quality, but the touch points, I don't know, there's some, like, the steering wheel is made out of like a plastic vinyl, which doesn't feel very quality for something this price. I'd like a leather steering wheel. The seats are pretty comfortable, except I would have to say that they're made out of material. It just feels cheap. On the flip side, I would say they feel easy to clean up, so you have to balance that. The toggle switches here are all nice quality. overall, the experience is okay. The font of the gauges comes from previous generation Ford products. The font here along the shifter, not so good. The styling of the climate control is very stylish. However, they're very small. I feel the buttons are a bit too small. Obviously, this interior is okay. It hasn't had the corrections that, for example, the Ford Focus got. However, I will say these vents are pretty awesome. There's like, this is the vent capital of the world, this truck. The vents blow everywhere. There's like ventilation even underneath the entertainment system. So that's pretty good. It has heated seats, which is really a must in cold weather. I think everybody now needs heated seats. In the city, the Ford Escape is very comfortable. This particular press model has 11,000 kilometers. I can't really hear any rattles going over bumps here. Well, actually, this road doesn't have many bumps, but it's pretty good. Like it still feels solid. It's easy to drive. It has a very short turning radius. The control weights are made for the city. Soft pedal, soft acceleration. It isn't harsh. The wheel, you could almost turn it with your fingertips. I think it's pretty good in the city. This car comes with a 2-liter turbo, and it's very peppy, as I'm going to show you right now. Hold on a sec. Kickdown is pretty good. This transmission is very good, actually. The kickdown comes on fast, and I noticed when you're driving at highway speeds, when you have to pass somebody, the kickdown, like the gearing is good. It brings it to a gear where it's at about 4,500, almost 5,000 RPM, and it gives you that surge. So, well thought out for the highway. As I approach 100 kilometers an hour, or 60 miles an hour, there's a little bit of wind noise, as there is with all these vehicles. However, I don't have to raise my voice to be heard. I was chit-chatting with Ross on the way to Costco, and we were blabbing away, and we didn't have to speak any louder than this. So, very competent in the city, and very competent on the highway. It tracks well too. So, in the final analysis, this is a very good crossover, or CUV, or mini SUV. I never know what they're called, or big hatchback. It's very good. However, its competitors are very good also. So if you buy this, you're not a fool. If you buy one of its competitors, well, you're not a fool either, because they're very good also. It's going to come basically, I think, to preferences, the exterior styling perhaps. Unlike other Ford products, I find it has a very roomy rear seat, this one. The seats, I can't speak for a long haul, but for the 15-20 minute drive, I felt absolutely no backache, no nothing. It's very comfortable, and it's very practical. So that's the review.